Michael?
It's not
How
Happy
are
New
we?
Year. Does your do you have an expiration date on when you say Happy New Year? Like when we wish somebody New Year, like Larry David does.
I think you have like I think it depends on what day New Year's falls on.
Yeah.
So if it falls on, let's say, just like a Monday, you have until probably like the weekend, or maybe you have that weekend too to say Happy New Year. But if it falls on like a Wednesday, you have till Sunday. You know.
True. Yeah.
But if you have it on a Saturday, then you have the whole week until Saturday. So it really depends.
I think
7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 days or 7 to 10 business days.
No, 7 to 10 days. Because business days, that'd be 2 weeks. It's too long. You can't be saying Happy New Year come past MLK Day. I think that's a good rule of thumb.
Right. Because you're coming back after like vacations and stuff. So you got a little bit of leeway depending on the last time you saw the person. Right. Mm-hmm. But like if I haven't talked to you, if I haven't seen you, and it's February, no, you ran out of Happy New Year time.
I think it should be more of a thing where we start celebrating more cultures' New Year's. So it'd be really like how Cinco de Mayo is a big deal, but that has nothing to do with America. We should celebrate Chinese New Year. I think it'd be a lot of fun to just throw a Chinese party.
Chinese party?
It'd be amazing. Are you kidding me? Get some Chinese food. I mean, it'd be fantastic.
Panda Express.
Pandas. Exactly. Get some pandas.
Pandas.
It's not a bad idea. I'm a little. I mean, you also have St. Patrick's Day. I'm a little upset that Chinese New Year hasn't caught on earlier.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's in the middle of February, like when you really need another holiday.
Right. Yeah, because we go through a pretty hot streak of holidays, starting Thanksgiving. Even Halloween, right? Halloween kind of kicks off the holiday season, in my opinion, you know.
Oh, for sure. But like February is tough. People need people in February. Mm-hmm. You gotta lean on your neighbor. So that's why I'm thinking that you need another party mid-February.
Where are we? Are we Year of the Tiger?
Oh, I have no idea.
I wonder what year we are. 2024 was Year of the Dragon.
26. What is it, Zodiac?
Yeah, the Chinese Zodiac. Let's see.
It's the Year of the Fire Horse.
Fire Horse.
Yeah, Fire Horse.
It's not just
very
horse?
Specific. Nope, Fire Horse.
What is
specific?
That is very, very specific. I mean, if we're looking around us right now, yes, everything is on fire at a galloping pace.
No, this is a good thing.
Is a fire horse a good thing?
Well, I mean, I like it. So it says, this year blends the natural charisma and independence of the horse with a forceful element of fire, which occurs only once every 60 years. Astrologers note that 2026 is auspicious. What?
Auspicious.
Auspicious. Time to make bold moves and pursue ambitious goals. However, the intense energy can cause impulsiveness and hesitation.
Auspicious describes a favorable situation, a lucky sign, or a set of conditions that suggest future success is likely. Huh. Well.
Oh, it says it's going to be a good year for me. It says the dragon, snake, horse, and goat. High momentum periods. Fuck yeah.
I don't even know what my zodiac is.
Well, it just says 1990, so I'm going to look it up. I'm pretty sure I'm the horse.
Yeah. I'm a metal goat. That's kind of cool.
Are you really?
Yeah. 91, year of the metal goat.
I was the metal horse.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's it's pretty badass to be metal something.
I think I'd rather be fire, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I just picture of like a horse on fire, and right now everything kind of seems like it's on fire.
How rare is the metal horse?
I don't know. How rare
isn't everything always on fire? Let's be honest. When is something not on fire in our lives?
For probably 1999 when they released The Mummy.
Seriously, honestly, since 9/11, it's been
Right.
just cycle after cycle.
Yeah, it's just been one thing. And now
Actually, no, we can go before. No, we can actually go before 9/11. I've heard some weird things about the Oklahoma City bombings. And,
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough to speak on it, but I heard there's some weird things that we should look into with like FBI people were the ones that actually blew up the building.
For sure. We need to do a whole episode on the OKC bomb.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it, but
It's wild.
It's been a whirlwind. We've seen probably 12 once in a lifetime disasters in our lives.
Do you feel like that phrase is starting to lose its luster? Once in a lifetime. We've seen a lot of once in a lifetimes. It's like, well, yeah. Here we go again.
I feel like every generation sees their once in a lifetimes. Like people live through Prohibition for 10 years, you know?
True. Yeah.
Civil War, once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
True.
Woodstock, once in a lifetime. Everyone's got good and bad.
Let's see. How many once in a lifetimes have millennials lived through? Okay. 2008 global financial crisis, COVID pandemic, global inflation surges, artificial intelligence boom, numerous historical natural disasters, geopolitical shifts.
Everyone's had to live through natural disasters and geopolitical shifts.
Yeah, I mean, shit. The biggest hurricane was like what, 1888, like right after the Civil War ended, a couple years after. You know,
there was an ice age that people forget about.
Were people
used to be covered in glacier?
We're like, I don't think we were humans yet during the ice age, right?
We were. Absolutely.
Neanderthals is what I'm saying.
No. Well, actually, there were several different races of humans. Neanderthals were just one of the few. The Neanderthals were just kind of the strongest, but they found out actually their brains are about as big as ours. But anyways, they were like the way more athletic, scary ones. But we did beat them with their smarts. But humans were definitely around because the last ice age was like 12. Well, the Younger Dryas was like 9,000 years ago. So we were definitely, and humans have been around for 300,000 years is the latest date.
Huh. So how many years was it from the Ice Age to the pyramids?
So what happened was, okay, so if we back up like 15,000 years ago, the Earth was starting to get warm. I don't know about if it's exactly our climate now, but it was starting to get to a place where people could live comfortably.
It wasn't ice.
It wasn't, well, parts of it were. You did have north and south, but it wasn't, the world wasn't a frozen snow globe.
Okay.
And then so there was the beginning of the Younger Dryas, I think is like 12,800 years ago. And so what that happened was there was all of a sudden this crazy drop in temperature. And I'm not exactly sure what I think what they were saying is that, I mean, no one's sure, but it was either a comet or solar flares. And what happened was it shot the so much debris and so much stuff into the atmosphere where there was just a cloud of gray where the sun couldn't penetrate. So it was just it just put us back into the ice age for about 1,200 years. So there was a 1,200 year span where things were just frozen. There were still places to live near the equator and such. That's also where they think like the Sahara used to be very green, and that's a potential place for old civilizations that was much more fertile. So there's still places to live. It wasn't like everything was crazy, but there was still, it wasn't, there was a big drop in temperature. And then at the end of the Younger Dryas, 1,200 years after the beginning of it, there was another cataclysm, which that was the melting of the polar ice caps, where they're not sure if it was an asteroid or solar flare or whatnot, but something melted the North American ice caps like quickly, where there was just a sudden surge in cooling water going into the ocean, and that started to bring us back into where we are now with our atmosphere. But also with that melting of the ice caps, we did lose a lot of land. Like for example, you used to be able to walk from Sicily to like Italy. There used to be no land between that. And then also like Indonesia and Australia, those types of smaller islands
Yeah.
and whatnot. Those used to be very connected as well. And
Just
so
like
there's
Russia and
probably
Alaska.
yeah, exactly. So there's that's the other thing is people say is like there's probably a lot of where do most people live near the coast. It's beautiful, and so
Yeah.
there's a lot of areas around the world that have been gobbled up by sea levels rising. Not because of sea levels rising how we think they are today, but
Right.
because of the glaciers melting and then that just sudden drop. But so that's the thing is archaeologists, I think they do push back where they say that it wasn't like a sudden, all the sudden huge height in water, like the water going high, the water
Sure.
rising. They said that
Yeah.
it took gradual, like 15 to 30 years, but there's no proof of that from my understanding. I don't know.
Interesting. So, so Pangea then must have been well before Younger Dryas.
Way before Younger
Okay.
Dryas. Way
Sure.
before Younger Dryas.
Okay.
But that's the thing is but that's where like Göbekli Tepe comes into play because Göbekli Tepe is dated to kind of where the end of the Younger Dryas is. So that's like the oldest thing that we have now
Sure.
from artifacts. And if you think about it, Sumer and that isn't till like 5,000 years after that.
So, like the ancient Sumerians were after
Sumer, Mesopotamia, yes. Sumer, Mesopotamia, what we were taught was like the oldest civilization ever. It's like, I believe it started like 6,000 BC, something like that.
I didn't do too much homework on Göbekli Tepe. Say that
Göbekli
10 times.
Tepe?
Yeah, say that 10
Göbekli
times. Fuck
Tepe.
that.
Yeah. means Potbelly Hill.
Huh. And now that's in Turkey?
Yeah.
Or is that in where's
No, it's in Turkey.
where's Machu Picchu?
Machu Picchu is in Mexico or Peru.
Peru. Yeah. So was that no, that was way after. Machu Picchu was way after. That's
I don't
15th
think
century.
anyone knows. I don't think anyone really knows.
That's what Wikipedia says. It's a 15th
Yeah, well,
century.
Wikipedia can go fuck off. Suck a big fat one.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really knows, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I've never really done homework on it, Machu
Yeah.
Picchu, but that's interesting about Göbekli Tepe. I didn't know
what's
that
very
either.
interesting about Göbekli Tepe
Hit me.
is that it was it seems to have been buried on purpose because it doesn't seem to be. It almost seems like a time capsule, just because like it doesn't. There was no like kind of landslides or anything like that because all the pillars are still perfectly upright in place. And if there was any sort of natural disaster, it would have just knocked that shit over.
Sure.
So it seems to have been buried on purpose. And we've only excavated probably like 5 to 10%. They still haven't, they haven't touched a lot of it.
What do they think
whole
it
thing
is? Like a city or like
They don't know
landing site?
because the thing is that there wasn't any signs of like animal bones or anything like that. So it seems to have been like hunter gatherers that were there. But that's what doesn't make sense is because if you're a hunter gatherer, you don't have time to build things like that. You're too busy trying to find food for the day.
Right. You're more nomadic like Mongolians or
Yes.
yeah, okay.
So maybe agriculture, something like that, where they or maybe just the food was plentiful there and they were able to finally settle down and do something. So no one really knows.
Right.
But there are crazy carvings in it, like 3D carvings, where it's just kind of, it's weird because it's like you're supposed to be a hunter-gatherer. How do you know how to carve something like a 3D, like coming off of the
Right.
rock?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these pictures. There's like heads, like carved out heads out of, and there's like a lion one.
Yeah.
One that looks like a gnome.
Pillar 43 is the most famous of the ones they found so far. And the thought process of that one is that some people speculate that it's actually kind of like the star map. How like we did with the Hoover Dam, where we have like the star map, so people know that that's when it was built. Mm-hmm. People say that that's kind of a star map with Sagittarius and the moon and Scorpio, and so you can see a couple different constellations.
Oh, sure,
and then if
sure.
that is true, that time period when that was in the sky was right around the end of the Younger Dryas. I believe so.
Wild.
But also, that's the other thing too. Is my thought is always curious of how did we all have the same zodiac signs? There's no way that you like cultures from thousands of years in between each other are looking up at the same star and going like, yeah, that's a scorpion.
Right.
You know? Like we can't even fucking do that.
Yeah, that is peculiar to say the least, right? Because like even the Greeks and the Romans, they were looking at that, right? And coming up with the same conclusions. And Göbekli Tepe, right, is 1,000 thousands?
Oh, much older.
Maybe?
Thousands.
Yeah. Than the Greeks and the Romans?
Yeah.
Right?
Much older.
So yeah, that is a little peculiar. I'm gonna have to like look into that because that's well, I mean, like even the pyramids, right? You had obviously the pyramids of Gaza, right? But then what? Maybe about the same time you had the same ones in like Mexico and Central America.
I guess no one knows because I mean no one knows when they were actually dated. I just feel like everything could be speculated.
Yeah.
All we know is that civilizations, I think the one commonality between all the civilizations is that the older shit is on the bottom, where everyone just kind of built on top of each other.
Sure.
I mean, we do that with our cities as well.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I mean,
look at Lower Wacker. It's a piece of shit. but I mean, it's the older stuff has always been at the bottom, where they just the further they dig, the older that they find. But I don't know, because the pyramids, because when you carbon date, you can't carbon date stone or rocks.
Right.
You can only carbon date the stuff that's like in between and so you can only speculate so much. And so I know that the pyramids with Khufu, they say that it's like 2,500 BC.
Yeah. Let's see.
So I don't know about
2780.
Machu Picchu.
Yeah, well, Machu Picchu, I think, if I was
They say it was built in the 1400s.
15th century, yeah, so 1500s. I don't. Well, that's
1400s.
maybe when it was either discovered or I don't know. I just did a quick wiki of it. I didn't really dive into what the history was there, but I know that's. I don't think it's as peculiar. I think is it listed as one of the 7 wonders of the world?
I mean, it should be.
I think so, because you got okay. Well, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, it is definitely. Petra is one of them. Great Wall of China, Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, the Colosseum, and the Taj Mahal are all 7 wonders. But
I mean, the Taj Mahal, we kind of know how we did that, right?
Yeah, well, it was a prince that built it for his wife or something like that. But that wasn't very old, like at all. That yeah, let's see. Giza pyramids 2560 BC. Petra was 40 AD. So the pyramids are by far the oldest. The Christ the Redeemer in Rio, 1931. Taj Mahal was 1643. And then Machu Picchu was 1450 AD. Great Wall of China.
I don't think can't be a wonder. Great Wall of China as well. Like we know how you did that. It's not a mystery.
Slaves. They kind of built all of it, if you think about it, right? Like the Colosseum.
Pyramids.
Pretty sure slaves did that. You know, Great Wall of China, definitely.
That's the pyramids. That's kind of up for debate too. So the archaeologists and Egyptologists say that it was not slaves; that it was like craftsmen, and they found the graves, and apparently they were like well-fed individuals. I don't know how you could tell by bones. I'm sure there's a way. But they said that there wasn't any slaves. But
I think
don't understand.
The slaves thing is more of like a biblical characterization, that it was the Israelites and I guess the Jews at the time, right, were the ones that were in slavery, right? And then Moses and Aaron and that whole thing, right? But I've never heard like anybody really back that up outside of a biblical sense, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying that's my thing is that if you're going by the archaeologists, so they say that the Great Pyramid, so it's actually like the 3rd pyramid. The first pyramid that they say was ever built was the Pyramid of Djoser, And actually, Imhotep was the
Sorry.
Jesus. It was the architect. Imhotep was like the architect of that.
Okay.
And it's a foot pyramid. You could tell. And then the next pyramid, I believe, is a pyramid of the Red Pyramid, which was Khufu's father.
Khafre?
No, Khufu. Khafre is Khufu's son.
Oh, okay. I got it backwards.
But Khufu's dad was responsible for the Red Pyramid. And I think it's impressive, but there's still some flaws there. And
Did
then
it
all
collapse? Didn't one of them like collapse on the inside or something?
I'm not sure of. But then you get to Khufu's pyramid, which is the first pyramid, the biggest pyramid of Giza. And here's the thing. So they say that it was built within 20 to 30 years off of stone and copper saws and tools. And then there's 2.3 million stones in it, weighing approximately like 600 tons. And they say that it was only 10,000 people that did that. Makes no sense.
Yeah, the math doesn't really math on that one.
Math's not mathing.
No. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they did have some sort of like ancient technology, right? So like I was learning about the pyramids, and I remember this very clearly from second grade, I think it was. They had a bunch of logs, right? Or in this case, I think they got PVC pipe for the example, right? But then they had somebody sit on a chair on a piece of plywood, and then they were able to push them and the logs would roll, right? So it wasn't dragging. Point being, right, is that I guess for the non-skeptic out there looking at how these were built, I guess it makes sense. I don't understand how they got them that high, though. Like, I understand building the base, but, like, these things are pretty fucking tall, right?
Well, it's not even, yes, but also, so here's the thing is the heaviest stones were quarried from a granite 500 miles away, and they weigh 70 tons. So how did you get 70? I mean, yes, the wood would work to an extent. I don't know if the wood would work to 70 tons, but either way, how'd you get 70 tons in the air and perfectly place it that way?
And also, how did you get 70 tons out of a quarry? Because that's got to be pretty fucking deep, too. So you're talking about lifting 70 tons up, what? At the beginning, right? Maybe 50 feet?
I don't know, because they're hundreds of feet up in the air. They're like 300 feet in the air. With
what I'm saying is
chamber.
Pulling it out of the quarry, even to get to the sea level, and then only doing it in 30 years. I mean, that's...
Yeah. So that's the other thing is it's right by the Nile River, so maybe by boat. But I can't imagine the Egyptians being, if they're only building with copper and stone tools, making a boat that can hold a 70-ton rock.
Right.
You know? And then the other option is through the mountains. So, I mean, obviously the river sounds more logical. But the other thing, too, is I'm sure people are saying, the ramp. When you get to a certain extent of pulling that much weight, you can only have like a 10-degree ramp for it to actually work. And for that to work, that ramp has got to be at least a mile long for you to solidify that. And then it's also got to be made out of things that can hold 70 tons. So it can't just be made out of dirt and all this other gravel and stuff. It has to be something that be able to hold that much weight. Yep. And if it's something that's solid, you would imagine there'd be evidence for a ramp somewhere that holds that much, stuff. It's not like they cleaned up after themselves and took all the ramp stuff down. Like that doesn't...
We got the last block in place. Great. Now what? Clean all this shit up.
Yeah. Clean it up, damn it.
Right. So for frame of reference, right, we're talking about 170-ton block, right?
There's multiple of them in there.
Right. Of course, there's multiple of them. But the Edmund Fitzgerald was 13,000 tons empty.
Yeah.
So we're talking about what? A boat that sank, right, at 13,000 tons empty, right, and then moving 170-ton block. And you look at thousands of years of technological differences, right? Yeah. That still, that doesn't really add up in my brain anyway, right? How do you move, like, something like that, you know, with limited. And okay, so you can even think about like, so it's not the Sahara, right? Like it was the Sahara, but it's not as we picture it today, right? Where it's all sand. It did have, you know, grass, and it was more of like a plains, right, type of environment. But even then, right, like the amount of resources is finite in that area to be able to move blocks like that. Like you would have to, I mean, clear cut miles and miles and miles and miles of wood to even build one ramp, right? Let alone the whole thing.
And also, like, do you realize how comfy the civilization has to be for you to just take on this project on the side every day?
Right.
Like things got to be going really good to just have, let's say it's 10,000, like that many people just working on this every day because the Pharaoh wants you to.
Right.
I don't know. That just doesn't add
like,
up. And the other thing, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, yeah, I think Egypt at that time, I mean, I don't know about how much large trade routes were going on at that. Probably not a lot, right? So it was still probably more or less a hunter-gatherer civilization, right? Yeah. Like we don't have the trade, maybe to India, right? You might have some of that, you know, but
those civilizations aren't civil enough to be even trading with it.
Right, exactly. I mean, even when you get into like Alexander the Great and his conquering of up to India, right? We're not talking about like established trade routes, right?
Yeah,
like they had little boats. They weren't necessarily going across the Red Sea, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, very finite. And this, I'm guessing, this is where all the theories of how the pyramids were like actually built. The conspiracy theory plays in, right?
I haven't even started with like it being the circumference of the earth and the crazy voodoo stuff. The other thing too is that, so there's a couple different stones that the pyramid is built out of. So the inside of like the king's chamber, that's that it's a specific granite that they got from 500 miles away that they lined the inside in. And then the outside, the casing stones are limestones from right there in the area. Like, why did you have to go 500 miles? What was so important to get the specific granite to put in there? If it's just a tomb, why wouldn't you just do the whole thing in limestone and just be done with it? Because it's all right there. Right. Why do you have to go down there and grab the granite?
Yeah, I don't know. What? And were they in the Bronze Age yet?
Yeah. So it was copper. Yeah, because they would use copper saws. What they say that they did is that they would make a dent into the wood or to the rocks there, the stone, and they get a copper saw, and then they would get some sand and some water and pour it in there, and that would help cut the stone. However, there has been videos of people doing this modern times, and you got like maybe a quarter of an inch in like an hour. So,
and they say it took 30 years to build.
Yeah,
top to bottom.
Yep. Yeah, and then not only that, but you aligned it to perfect, almost perfect, true north, south, east, and west is the other thing. And then there's something special about the number 42,300, and I don't really understand it. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but there are things that if you multiply the height of the pyramid by 42,300, you get the exact longitude of the Earth's circumference. And if you multiply the base of the pyramid by 42,300, it's the exact lateral distance around the Earth.
The Great Pyramid, when
that doesn't seem like coincidence,
right? The Great Pyramid, when multiplied by 43,200, are 99.3 and 99.7% accurate relative to Earth's dimensions.
Yeah.
Could it be that once they were covered in limestone, they were actually 100% accurate?
Isn't that kind of weird? Like,
what the fuck?
Like, that's not a weird, like, that seems too weird to be a coincidence.
Definitely. So, okay, so put the tinfoil hat on. What do you think happened? Like, if there was an intervention of something, right, and this wasn't copper saws and wooden ramps, right? Yeah. What do you think is the most I guess, feasible or plausible solution to
don't-
this pyramid problem?
How they built it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of in the camp where it's something that is so obvious and so smart that if we saw them do it, we'd be like, fucking course. Like that's what they did. But they have to be gifted in some other. Maybe they just kind of know the stress points of all the rocks, and they're able to just chisel it away. Maybe demigods were real. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, because also it's not even the getting all the stones. It's also, again, just kind of how perfect it is.
Sure.
Like,
Now,
that's not by accident.
right. So, I mean, like the big ones, obviously the History Channel, right, did 3 seasons of Ancient Aliens, and that's where this started, right? There's another one about actually Atlantean, so Atlantis being part of it, supposedly.
I can kind of see there is a thought that like the Egyptians were the inheritors of the Atlantic civilization, and like the Atlanteans went down in the Younger Dryas cataclysm.
See, now that makes sense, right?
I mean, it makes sense, but there's no evidence of any of that. The only evidence of Atlantis is Plato and like a couple people talking about it from secondhand sources. Like,
yeah, there are some people saying that Egypt is not Atlantis. 2 nations, completely different, and different cultural.
yes, oh yeah, Egypt is not Atlantis. No.
Right. But like inherited, or maybe people that migrated from.
Yes, once Atlantis went down, they moved into Egypt.
Yeah.
Like they were yes.
It is interesting. I've never spent too much time on Atlantis. I love that movie though, the Disney one.
I never watched it.
Yeah, they're I think they're making a live action of it. And the trailer that I saw, now it could have been a fan creation though too. And whatever live action one that I saw was like spot on. Like it looked amazing, like a shot for shot remake of it.
Is it good?
The Atlantis Disney movie?
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's kind of a hidden Disney gem, Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Because Michael J. Fox, I think the side characters in the movie are great. Like the French dude who loves explosives, fucking hilarious. And like the whole thought of it, you know, of how, what is his name? Milo, I think, is the main character. It was like his crazy scientist uncle discovered it or found out where it was. Then he got a book, but it's like set at the turn of the century. I think it's pretty good. It's not too campy or cheesy, you know, but it's got.
So do they find Atlantis?
They do in the movie. They find Atlantis, yeah, and it's like this whole civilization, and they got like flying cars and shit.
Where were they?
Oh, I can't remember. It was like way underground. Like they had to dig for it, and then it was like behind like some waterfall. I think they had to go into the ocean, and then they found like the bottom of the ocean, and then like went even further underneath that, and they were like living in this sphere of I don't know, protected, I don't know, magic shit. I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I'm kind of piecing it together from what I remember. But I remember it being pretty solid. You know, the toys were great, the free ones at McDonald's. But Jim Varney's in it. Back in Ernest Scared Stupid's in that movie. He does one of the voices, yeah. But
go back to the 90s for like a week.
I know, right? Well, I think that came out 2001, 2, maybe 99, perhaps. I don't know. But so okay, we got a little off track there talking about Disney movies and Atlantis, which I mean could be an episode in and of itself, right? Talking about Atlantis. That's what they think happened to Amelia Earhart. Is that she actually
went down with Atlantis?
No, she found Atlantis, like somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh,
that's one of the theories. Yeah, that she went down in the Bermuda Triangle, but then ended up finding Atlantis like along the way, and she just
I'm
been
sure
hanging
the
out there
CIA
since.
knows exactly what happened to her.
Oh, for sure, they know everything,
Exactly.
or they don't know anything, and we give them way too much credit.
No.
Could you imagine like the whole conspiracy about a government agency like just being perpetuated on one lie, that they're just pretending that they know and they're truly just so incredibly incompetent that like
Sounds like a TV show.
Right.
Sounds like it might be real though. The way
right,
things are going.
they're so dumb that like these things keep on accidentally happening. Like JFK actually really wasn't assassinated, but that like accidental discharge is what happened. So then they created the conspiracy, or they created the conspiracy to hide the fact that they were incompetent, you know, or like they framed Nixon because it was them stealing it, but they're like, no, it was Nixon. Nixon did it.
What if that lawyer was never supposed to spill the beans about magic? They were supposed to let the world know about that. So they threw out the other theory about JFK getting killed because they couldn't let magic be real.
Oh, shit, they knew about the magic bill. They found it. God damn it. Who dropped it? I knew I should have fixed that hole in my pocket. Son of a bitch.
God damn it.
So now what's this thing about the pyramids and the power plant? I know we've kind of touched on it in some episodes, but like what is that? What is that theory? What's that thought process?
So the reason why people think it's a power plant, well, first, the one thing why people don't think it's a tomb is because in all the other burial sites that you see, like when you found King Tut and a lot of other ones in the Valley of the Kings, the whole thing is covered in hieroglyphs. It literally like tells the story, artifacts, all that stuff. So even if it was like raided, as some people say, where the they've never found a mummy in a pyramid either. But
For
even
real?
if it was, they've never found a mummy in a pyramid, not once. But if they did, like let's say ransack it and took everything,
Sure.
you can't take the hieroglyphs off the wall. So
Right.
there still should be some sort of hieroglyphs or something on the wall, which is one kind of thing. And then so there's 3 different chambers. So you have there's the lowest chamber, and then there's the queen's chamber, and then the king's chamber. And so the lowest, it sits on top of the water table. And so what this one Christopher Dunn guy believes is that they took some sort of mix. He doesn't know what it was, but some sort of mix of things. Mm-hmm. And there's different shafts that go into the queen's chamber that go like ventilate out, going up. And then there's a couple other shafts that do go, but they don't go all the way out. So like it's not a complete air shaft.
Sure.
And so what he thinks is that there was this mix of whatever to create hydrogen and some other chemical. And then with the water coming from the water chamber, it would ring through the granite and perpetuate this sort of sound. Because the king's chamber is actually perfectly tuned to F sharp.
Of course
which is
it
a weird.
is.
What's interesting about F sharp?
No, I'm just saying like the 43,200, right? The perfect alignment with the stars, and then the chamber tuning exactly to F sharp,
It's tuned to F sharp.
Yeah,
yes, and
wild.
so they think that the sound and it would go through the pyramid and the vibrations and through those different cascades in the king's chamber, and there used to be that golden block nugget on top of the pyramid too when it was intact. And so gold is obviously a great conductor when it's brought to a fine amount.
Sure.
And so they think that that's a way that it generated power, because also all the limestones, like if you look at what the pyramids actually looked like in pictures, it was like bright white. So the limestones was covered in some sort of casing stones to get some sort of light as well. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
So if it was a power plant, right, and it was conducting, what was it powering?
That's a great question, because nothing's ever been found.
Yeah, because like if it was generating power, right? Could they have theoretically built the power plant portion of it and then encase the rest of it in a pyramid and use that to build other pyramid power plants?
So here's I'm in the school of thought that the Egyptians found the pyramids. I don't think the pyramids were built by them. I think that they did do a major revamp on them during Khufu's time. We do that with artifacts all the time too, trying to preserve them, work on them. I think the Egyptians found the pyramids and then tried to like kind of bring them back.
Do you think it was the Atlanteans that emigrated to Egypt and then found them?
Maybe, I don't know. So here's the thing also is that this one guy, he said he's a naval dude. So he studies water, all the stuff of the sea, and he believes that there's like signs of salt water like towards the peak of the pyramids. He thinks that there was actually a big flood that came through there from the Persian Gulf, and the pyramids were underwater for a little while. And so that would have kind of taken away of anything as well. I know it's a weird thought.
That is weird. I kind of like that theory, though, that the Egyptians found it. Well, you know?
Because also it's weird with the Sphinx, too. Because the Sphinx, do you know about the Sphinx?
Somewhat. I know we've touched on it a little bit, but elaborate.
So, Robert Schoch and John Anthony West, when they studied the Sphinx, when we found it, was buried in sand. The only thing that was up was its head. So it was getting pummeled with the wind. So there is a lot of wind erosion in the front, but most of it's been buried in sand for quite a while. And when they dug it up and started excavating it, they found these water erosion marks. And it was clearly like this had to have been some fucking heavy rain for it to carve into the bedrock this deep.
Sure.
And Egypt has been a dry county for quite a while. And so the last time that they had significant rainfall was like 10,000 years ago. And so there's a thought that the Sphinx was made like 10,000 years ago. And the other thing, too, is people think that obviously it looks like it's a lion, right? Like the head carved in. And so they believe that the Egyptians carved that head in because the face was so unrecognizable. Because also the Egyptians were really good at just what's the word I'm looking for? They were really good at ratios. Like they were really, when they made statues, it wasn't out of sync with like giant head, tiny body. Like they were pretty good about their ratios. So for them to build a lion body and then such a tiny head wouldn't really add up to like what the Egyptians were really known for at the time. So that's why they think it was a lion's head. And so if you look at the Sphinx, it looks at the spring equinox or spring solstice.
Yeah.
Solstice?
Solstice? Equinox.
No, summer solstice, spring equinox. It's the equinox. So the sun rises right at the Sphinx is looking right at the sun when it rises on the spring equinox. And the last time that there was a time where that during the time of Leo, because we have like our zodiac signs, like we're talking about the Chinese. So about time of the Younger Dryas period was also the age of Leo. And so the Sphinx was a lion, age of Leo, that same time period. There's just a lot of weird things. And then also the pyramids, if you go back to the time of the Younger Dryas, like 10,800 years ago, the pyramids line up perfectly with Orion's belt.
Yeah, I knew about that one. Yeah. Them lining up with Orion's belt. Now, I have never heard that about the Sphinx of repurposing the face, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because the ratios are way off. And again, the Egyptians were known for that.
Right.
They were known for like really good ratios with their statues and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, to tune something specifically to F sharp, right, that has to be very like coordinated,
But yeah.
do sound like that,
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy. I did not know any of that. I mean, I knew about like the water thing a little bit, but yeah, now that makes me kind of wonder, like, yeah, why did they, like, if they did build the Sphinx, why did they do it like a 4-year-old's cartoon drawing of a cat?
Yeah.
That's peculiar.
It's weird. And then also, once the Great Pyramids were built, pyramid building goes way downhill. Like, just not even close. Like, just completely fucking forgot how to do it. So, if you put in so much, like, pride into these pyramids, what you would imagine that's something that you would pass along to the younger generation to keep building, monumental, significant pyramids, and somehow you just fucking forgot.
Right. Now, here's a post about the Egyptian society and economy. Because the question is, no matter when you believe the pyramids were built, did the Egyptian society have an economy large enough to sustain the effort? And
fair question.
There's really no answer to it. There's one that says, I have a degree in economics, and I always ask this question. Like, when did you have a lot of available resources and wasted labor, right? You start large public works to keep money moving, I guess, and people employed. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Like, you have to do something in order to have the exchange of goods and services, albeit something. If we're forgoing the power plant, right? Like, to keep an economy going. Right? Like, I'm just going to build this thing for the sake of building it so I can pay him and he can employ these people so then they have money to put back into the economy. Like, I guess that kind of makes sense,
You want to know my theory?
Hit me. Yeah, of course I want to know your theory.
Okay. So, again, I'm in the school of thought that the pyramids were found by the Egyptians, not built.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I think that the Egyptians found the pyramids and realized that there's some magnificent structure. And with those tunings, people say that they have some sort of like weird spiritual experiences in there, with the sounds and whatnot.
Sure.
I think that they were just getting drunk and using it as a fucking amusement park.
Can we go to the pyramid today, Mom? We were there yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I want to go into the chamber again. I like the.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so like, okay. Put yourself in the shoes of somebody who just emigrated across, say, most of Europe, right? Or at least the other side of the Black Sea, right? And you stumble across these giant fucking pyramids, and you go inside because who's not going to take a detour into that,
Exactly.
And you find out it's really fucking cool. Like, yeah, I'm going to set up shop down here. We got a river. We got this cool auditorium.
But I think it just did something cool to people. How the monkey just like gets drunk off the fruit on accident and just like, oh, I'm going to keep eating this fruit. Where they just stumbled on in like, oh, I just had a real cool spiritual experience. And like people started doing that and it just became part of their, their lives. Like they just settled right outside Disney World, baby. I do the exact same thing.
Yeah. I mean, all of Kissimmee, Florida, right, is built around Disney World. Let's just be honest. All of Florida is built around that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, do you think there's any... So, okay, let me preface this first, right? Going back to the hieroglyphics, right, that are inside these pyramids, and even some of the other, like, either Sumerian or Babylonian structures, right? Like Petra, and I think I don't know if they're in the, what is it? The fucking Greek. Anyway, there's like carvings, right, of one specifically being a helicopter looking thing, right? And then other ones of like guys in spacesuits or astronauts, right? Do you think that there's any weight to, say, like extraterrestrial involvement? I mean, I know that's what everybody kind of like jumps to, right? Yeah. And I think at this point it is kind of like a cop out, right? I can't explain this thing, so I'm going to say aliens, right? But if we look at the hieroglyphics of it all, right, and how these are carved, whether before or after people arrived or while they were building it, right? Do you think that's like, hey, I just kind of fucked up with my chisel and I made this thing. It was supposed to be a canoe, but I sneezed and all of a sudden now it looks like a fucking helicopter because we know what a helicopter is? Or do you think there is actually any type of like terrestrial involvement?
Well, let me back up a little bit first. Where there is one hieroglyph within the Khufu pyramid, but it's highly speculated that the guy who found it put it there himself. So he could say that he found something in the pyramids. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. But back to your question, I went to college and I have seen a lot of people draw pictures or paint on acid. Mm-hmm. Just for the fun of things.
Sure.
And so again, it could be just people just trying to kill some time and just drawing what comes to their mind. I can't imagine that the aliens be coming up in an Apache. No, that doesn't make sense.
Blaring Creedence Clearwater Revival, and all of a sudden we do it in Nam thousands of years later.
I think that the Apache is our civilization type of thing,
Yeah. No.
It is weird.
Yeah.
But maybe it's something else that they're trying to draw.
This person or this Wikipedia thing says that it is actually two hieroglyphs like fudged together.
I can see that. Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah. But it is
that
very
man
easy.
could have just been drawn like a fucking dick. We have no idea.
Oh, you want to talk about dicks? I mean, the Greeks put dicks on everything.
Everything.
Everything's got a dick on it.
Yeah. Who says the Egyptians weren't obsessed with dicks?
Right? Like, all I got for entertainment around here is my dick and this pyramid that I've been inside of 55 times now.
Yeah. And we're no different. Yeah, maybe they just go there for one of those. It's one of those movie theaters,
Right? Exactly. You carve a dick on after you're done, and that's your ticket.
And let's be honest, we're not much better. We're still obsessed with dicks. We got the whole Epstein file.
Yeah, right.
Law and Order SVU has been going on for 25 years.
Right. Yeah.
It's all about dicks.
There's entire companies built around dicks specifically. Some of the largest, most trafficked internet sites in the world of all time are about dicks specifically.
82% of websites, dicks.
And even inside the other, 23%, right, is probably dick somewhere. If you look hard enough, you'll find it.
We might be worse now that I think about it.
Oh, for sure. I think we're definitely worse.
We're just a bunch of perverts.
Yeah. I think humanity in general has always been perverted,
Dude, Epstein used to be perfectly legal. Are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's how things were done, up until
hundreds and thousands of years ago.
Fuck. Up until probably 1700s. Right?
That was somebody's job.
Right. You get sold to some dude and trading for their largest goat, right? And you're 14, and that's how the world worked for a long time, which is super fucked up to think about. But that's how civilization prospered, right?
Thank God we got some Liam Neesons in the world now.
Right.
Help take people back.
Now, do you know anything about like the Sumerian civilization and whether it was before or after the Egyptians?
It was supposed before.
Yeah.
Ancient Sumeria was supposed to be like 6,000
BC.
Now that's supposed to be like the civilization. Sumer, Mesopotamia, it's supposed to be like what kicked off civilization.
Yeah. There is that. Oh, what is that fucking movie? Oh, geez, what is it called?
Slapshot.
The Fourth Kind. Slapshot. That's a fucking great movie.
I know.
The Fourth Kind. So it's a alien movie. It's about abduction.
Yeah.
Right?
I watched it at your place.
Yeah, dude, it's a wild movie, right? But the end of that movie, right? It cuts off in its Sumerian language, right?
Is it?
And yeah, and that's what this whole thing, like the whole movie is kind of like based on that. It was Sumerian. The Sumer culture was influenced directly by aliens. So the text that you read in ancient Sumerian is actually extraterrestrial text, right? So they taught us, and all of Babylon was actually founded by aliens, not like this Cain and Abel. I can't remember what the Bible says about it, but they're like, the Bible says that like they started worshiping a different God, and then God got pissed about it and then made everybody start talking different languages, which is the Tower of Babel, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like this movie, it suggests that it was aliens that taught Sumerians a language, which then turned into English, tens of thousands of years later, right? But at the very end of that, it's in Sumerian, and it always like fucking freaked me out, the end of that movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. I mean, the movie in and of itself is like,
And that's all based on
fiction.
but that is based on like a true story, right?
No, it says it is. It says it is, but after looking into it, they just use that as the kind of like a hook, right, to get people into the movie. Because
sons of bitches.
Yeah, I remember looking it up. Like, is the fourth kind a true story? And no, it's not. So, I mean, they're not the first person to do that. I think one of the first people to do that was the Coen brothers with the movie Fargo, because at the beginning of that movie, it says these are inspired by true events. And they just like threw that in there at the very end of editing. Like, yeah, this might get people a little bit more interested in the movie, thinking that it's based off of something real. So I think,
it worked.
It definitely worked. Right. But, I mean, even the thought or the assumption, right, that ancient Sumerian was actually extraterrestrial language that we just adopted and then eventually turned into English or Latin or however you want to go about it, right?
Yeah.
Always kind of freaked me out, but I kind of liked where they were going with it. I wish they would have built on it a little bit more, because, even with like the Sumerian, this kind of goes along with like the hieroglyphs, right? There's some ancient Sumerian carvings, I guess, of what look like aliens. They have breathing apparatus and they look like the Greys.
I don't like that at all, Michael.
It's fucking weird. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. But yeah, you'll find some carvings where there's like one specifically, it looks like a gray with a breathing mask on. And I think that's where they kind of like developed the movie around, was that image specifically. Yeah.
You know what I kind of thought about past few days?
What's that?
You know how they say that we know more about space than our ocean?
Yeah.
And for years, I've fought in that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I finally get it, Michael, where it's like it's a riddle. It's like we know more about space because there's so much shit down in the ocean that is so beyond us, that's living down there, that like we don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Or we just don't have the technology. I guess it might be easier to go up and deal with no pressure than down where it's a lot of pressure, I think from a technology standpoint. But also, I guess with like satellites,
we go way up.
Yeah.
We go way up.
I'm kind of thinking with like,
you can't go down.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like it's easier to probably build something that you can shoot up and that it doesn't have constant pressure on it, like you do with a submarine trying to push it downwards.
I get it. I mean, what I'm getting at though is if we can shoot something to Mars, I feel like Elon Musk can figure out something to go down, 50 miles.
And it doesn't seem really all that difficult. I mean, the guys on that one submarine that blew up, shit, they had fucking submarines in the Civil War.
Yeah.
The Hunley, that was the first usage of a military submarine in warfare.
Would you be more nervous in the submarine or a spaceship?
Oh, geez. That's a great question. Well, I think it's a lose-lose. If either collapse, you're kind of fucked, because
I know I wouldn't do well with the blast off. I would shit my pants. I'd be the worst blast off person in the world.
Right. Get me out of here. My seat's unbuckled.
I would cry.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have an easier time going to space, right, than I would. I think it was because, here's an example, right? Whenever I'm on an airplane and we go through turbulence, right, the first thought of turbulence is we're going to crash, And I have always, and this is how it's always been on airplanes, right? That if it crashes, I'm always kind of like, well, there's really nothing I can fucking do about it, Like,
yeah, but
I don't like
30,000 foot drop.
Well, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not saying it wouldn't
do it.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be scary, but I guess I come to terms with the situation very quickly, being at the mercy of weather, right? So I think I would have an easier time in a spaceship knowing that, like, if this thing does blow up, at least it's going to be fairly instant for me,
Yeah.
Now, with like submarines on the way down, it's kind of like, when you're fishing and your lure gets stuck on a log and you really can't get it off, so you just keep pulling on the line, waiting for it to snap, and you feel that tension building, I don't know when it's going to happen. I think I would have that feeling in a submarine. The lower and lower that you get, and the higher the pressure builds and builds and builds and builds, and you're like, is this thing going to fucking hold? I think I would do worse going down than I would up.
Yeah, but sometimes you get your lure back, Michael.
Yes, well, sometimes, yeah. I would say more often than not, I get my lure back, but still that building of pressure, right? That increase of tension, I think I would have a harder time getting used to than, strapping a bucket of gasoline on me and shooting me into the stars. I think I could get over that pretty quick.
I would eat so much Taco Bell right before.
Which one? Both?
The rocket.
Just see a big old brown streak.
I saw this video, and it can't be true, but it made me laugh so hard. I don't think I sent it to you. Maybe I did. Anyways, so I don't know if it's like Ireland or Scotland or one of those countries, island countries, where they were talking about the Taco Bell was going to start opening up a bunch of locations there. Yeah. But the government was nervous because they weren't sure if the plumbing would be able to hold up with all the
We
Taco
have
Bell.
Seen what happens with salsa verde, and we do not want this on our infrastructure.
We're just going to try it out real quick. Now that I say it out loud, there's no way that could be true. But.
Right. Well, I saw something kind of along the same lines. It was like, I hate it how people accuse white people of having no taste and no seasoning. They are the only ones that eat hot sauce named like Dave's Butthole Sauce or like this will literally kill you hot sauce. It's like, yeah, sign me up. Not hot enough.
Yep. Carolina pepper your asshole.
Right, sauce. Exactly. Like the wildest fucking names for hot sauce.
Yep.
And we're like,
this one's called death.
It's just right. It's just that. Yeah. One of the hottest ones is called Da Bomb. It's literally a picture of a nuclear bomb on it. Da Bomb is actually really good though. That is some delicious shit right there.
I can't do hot just to do hot. I like heat. Don't get me wrong, but just to like burn my face off.
Yeah. There was a little while where I was on a hot streak of hot streak. A real hot sauce kick of like, no, it's not hot enough. We remember we were living together when it was happening. The famous Dave's devil spit pickles,
Oh yeah.
And all that. Yeah. That shit was awesome. But I can't do it now. Like my guts just
I can't.
they're not equipped for it, you know?
Yeah.
Just give me a hot dog. That's about all I can handle. That should be one of the 7 wonders of the world, the creation of the hot dog.
Oh, I know how it started. It started in Coney Island.
Coney Island created the first hot dog?
One of the guys. So it was a knockoff of like the Frankenfurt. It was
Sure.
It was a Wiener sausage over in Germany, and this guy on Coney Island was starting to sell them on the beach. And then this one of he was selling them for 10 cents, and one of his employees, his name was Nathan something, fucking left and undercut him and started selling his hot dogs for 5 cents. Son of a bitch.
If it wasn't for capitalism, we would not have the hot dog.
Seriously, pretty much. And then the hot dog started catching on from there.
I wouldn't picture the hot dog being a beach type of meal, you know?
I'm not going to turn the hot dog down on the beach if that's.
Oh, hell no! Yeah, if somebody's rolling by with a couple of hot dogs, like of course I'm going to smash 15 of them. You know, that vendor is going to have a great day when he sees me.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh boy, I can finally put little Jimmy through college. Like here he comes.
He's back again. I knew it.
Did everything. I brought all my stuff for the entire day, and you emptied the cart. Now nobody else gets a hot dog. How do you feel about yourself? You know, so you got one more. That's probably what I would say.
Honey, he's here all week. We're gonna need you to grab extra hot dogs.
Block off my whole calendar.
Oh yeah, summer's gonna be good.
I haven't had a solid dog in a minute. It's been a little bit. I actually got off. I was eating a lot of hot dogs, but then I accidentally bought cheddar dogs. You know,
yeah, I can't do those.
And I got through them, and I was like, "That's it. I'm done.
Nope.
I am not doing more hot dogs after these cheddar dogs. I think they might have been bad. I don't know. I ate 8 of them.
Gross. And like even the brats, I can't do the cheese filled brats or hot dogs.
No, yeah, I can't. I mean, they got all kinds of flavors now. They put like jalapeno cheddar in it. You know,
some are good. Yeah,
some are, but in Austria, they hollow out a baguette and put the hot dog in it.
I don't need
They have
that.
hot dog sushi in Japan, or miniature
don't
hot
need that
dogs
either. What do you put? Should we start the Midwest goodbye?
We should, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you put in the hot dog sushi? What do you wrap it with?
Here it looks like a hot dog with some seaweed on a bed of rice.
Ew.
Yeah, that's a little weird. The ones in Brazil are crazy. Cachorro quente.
What does that mean?
Hot dog. Quente is hot and cachorro is dog. So it literally means hot dog. But they put it on like an actual like bread roll, not just a bun.
This is we've talked about this because your mother-in-law bet you couldn't eat 5 of these.
Yep, and I told her I could, and I probably will.
I don't think
In
so.
2006, they had the world's longest hot dog of 197 feet.
Are we talking about one sitting or throughout the whole day?
Oh, no. Wait, for me and my mother-in-law?
Yeah.
One sitting.
Oh.
Yep.
Is that including with the mashed potatoes on them?
That's the deal is that if we go, she gets to build them, and then I have to eat at least 4 of the traditional built Brazilian hot dog.
Are they still the same size as ours?
The dog, yes, but everything else on it. The dog is like an afterthought.
I know. I'm looking at this.
Yeah,
Puts a fucking chili dog to shame.
Yeah, these are different. They're literally built different. You know,
these are like street tacos, but hot dogs.
Yeah, I think they would make any
They're
Texan,
so colorful.
you know, shiver in their boots because everything's bigger in Texas. Yeah, wait until you go to fucking Brazil and see the hot dogs down there.
This is a Crunchwrap Supreme hot dog.
Oh God, that sounds awesome. Crunchwrap style hot dog.
Michael, I was golfing on Sunday and there was no turn for me to get a hot dog.
No,
Yeah, I was pretty upset.
But you were prepared, though. You brought your own?
No.
No?
I was
banking
banking on
backup
the
dog.
It's still early in the season. Didn't think
It
about
is.
it.
Maybe they just hadn't fired up the grill yet.
No, it was the course. We played Countryside Traditional.
Yeah.
Lovely course. Beautiful course.
I've played there before.
But you don't pass the golf house again. You know, the hut.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You just go right into 10. Keep it moving.
Tough. They just take a look.
I
at
mean,
you
yes and no. Because you
guy's
you don't need to stop.
This guy's gonna clear us out of hot dogs. We're gonna put him on this other one so he doesn't come through.
Yeah, he's back.
The world record for hot dogs eaten in 10 minutes is 83 by Joey Chestnut. That's wild. 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes. The world's longest hot dog.
A minute.
I don't. Oh, geez. Why that's got to, I don't know. 83 divided by 10. What is that?
8 hot dogs per minute.
8.3 hot dogs a minute. Oh, Jesus
that's
Christ.
so gross.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
duh. 10 divided by 8.
We're idiots. You remember when we were playing darts and we were doing, we were playing cricket? Or no, yeah, 301. And we always did, what was it? Addition?
Yeah,
and we'd been doing that forever. And then somebody goes, why don't you just subtract? We're like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. You got to carry. You got to carry the one.
You gotta borrow.
You got to borrow, right? Now, do you think you'd have a better chance of eating 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes or eating the 197-foot, 60-meter long hot dog?
How much time do I have?
Let's say 20 minutes.
No, I neither of them. There's not a chance in either of those.
Okay, which one do you think you have the better shot at? Which one do you think you can make more damage?
Probably the 83 hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd just dunk and swallow. I'd be like a fucking duck. Oh, yeah.
That's. I think, let's see. The Super Dogs, there was one, what was this? In Sweden, 3 pounds. It's a Super Dog. It was donated for a hospital. It's a big fucking hot dog. 3 pounds. Jesus Christ.
Joey Chestnut won $100,000 for eating 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Do you think he goes home and thinks to himself, was it worth it? You know?
I mean, he keeps doing it, man.
Like, this is what I built my reputation on. You know, there's got to be a little self-loathing in there, you know, once in a while.
I mean, he keeps doing it.
He does. And he did that Netflix thing with Kobayashi about it.
And I mean, if that's how you make your living, dude, you only got to do that like once every 4 months.
Right. If you live pretty, you know, conservatively, you just
I can live off of $100,000 for 4 months. You kidding me?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he probably just does it just once a year.
$100,000 for 3 years.
Yeah. My foot got run over by a taxi cab. I got $100,000. I got like 2,000 left. I eat a lot of pasta. Jeez, now I'm craving hot dogs, Pat. I think I might have to run to the store and go buy some.
Okay. Well, don't forget the relish.
I won't.
I know you don't have any at home.
Relish and mustard is just, that's it. That's the hot dog build right there.
Yeah. And tomato.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to fire up some history about the ancient Sumerians and we'll reconvene.
All right.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Common Professionals podcast. All music, content, and media used in this production are original creations and are owned by the Common Professionals.